Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And it's been a while since I posted something, but I'm actually bringing to you guys something quite interesting. You've heard of the company called Cat. In this case, Cat S60 is what I'm reviewing. So basically it's a phone by the company that makes some robust boots for construction sites and things like that. So I bet you didn't know they make phones. You want to know more about it? See you in a moment. So when you think of Cat, you don't exactly think of a phone manufacturer. I think of boots, I think of builders and tools. However, they have made a number of phones by now, and the S60 is just another one on their lineup of robust builder, beat all sort of things kind of phone. So let's just go through the phone from the left as we normally do, what it has and what it hasn't got. On the left hand side we have a series of buttons. We have a power button, we have a yellow button. That basically is a programmable button and you can program that to do whatever you want. Great, maybe Samsung could learn a thing or two by implying that to their Bixby button. Then we have on the covers, we have an SOS button, which is quite a clever feature. This is a little bit of a departure away, because if you're a builder you're probably not going to need it, but if you're an explorer, and what it does is it allows you to program 3 contacts that it will message the moment you press down, and you'll send them GPS coordinates. So if you're up a mountain somewhere in Scotland, at least they'll be able to find you. We have the micro USB. It would be nice to see USB Type-C, but again, this is lacking on some features, but it's making up for others. All the way around to the other side, we've got the volume rockers, and that's about it in terms of buttons, physical buttons on the side of the phone. And then we have the back, the home, and the multi-app option that comes with all Android. It's pretty straightforward. At the front of it, there is a couple of little rockers, which are for your waterproofing further, because this phone is waterproof, and we will be touching that in a moment. The back of it is carbon fiber. Very nice. A drawer where you can actually place your micro SD card, and guess what? Dual SIM. For many people this will be a godsend, because if you've got a business contact and a personal contact, I have to always carry 2 phones. I would love if a flagship would introduce something like this. In terms of screen and performance, it's not going to break any boundaries here. This is not why you bought this phone. However, the screen is a 4.7 inch screen, adequate. Turns out to be a 53.1 screen to body ratio. That's low compared to what the latest flagship phones are, like the LG G6 and the Galaxy S8. However, if you're a builder or something, you don't really care so much about that. Performance is provided by a Snapdragon 617. That's actually an 8-core processor, so performance isn't bad. And the resolution is low, so it's only 720p, so that's 1280 by 720. Check out the specs, I'll keep throwing here on the right hand side for more detail on that. And so that translates to a really snappy performance. It's got 3 GB of RAM, and battery life is not bad either. It's got 3,800 mAh battery, which basically means you'll last you the whole day and more. And with Android Marshmallow, it's pretty good with battery life. Not as good as other smartphones, of course, but you'll still be charging it every day. Right guys, so obviously this is not the first time we've seen a waterproof phone, and this obviously is bringing some new tricks to the table. This is IP68 certified, which basically means it can stay submerged underwater for an hour at a depth of 5 meters. But be careful, that will only apply if you have the 2 little tabs closed, slipped over to 5 meters. Now, we will test this on our own little way. Of course, it's not 5 meters. I am not that great of a swimmer to swim to that depth, but we're going to put it in a bowl, the typical test, for an hour. And the time now is, if the thing turns on, 11:06. So we'll check back at 12:06, and hopefully he has survived. This is always nerve-wracking, because you never know what's going to happen. But while I'm at it, actually this phone's got a few other tricks as well. It's drop proof of up to 1.8 meters. It's military standard certified or 810G. I'm not too sure what these standards actually stand for, but all I know is radiation proof, humidity proof, salt proof. That also means you should be able to go in the sea with it. Yeah, so let's find out in an hour. One of the other things that Cat also claim as well on their robustness of this great device is that it's also 1.8 meters shockproof, What that basically means, up to 1.8 meters of height, you could drop it and it'll survive and it should be fine. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to just drop test it from a pocket. What typically you will find what you're going to do. The floor here is not concrete, but it's hard, so let's see what happens. So typically, get your phone out of your pocket and then you drop it. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to do one more test. This time we're going to do it from the side, which it should survive. That's what it does. Right? So, talking on the phone. Oh! And the phone just dropped. Did it survive? Of course it did. Well, that passes it. So it is 10 past 12, so that makes it an hour and 3 minutes or so that's been submerged underwater. I know that they probably could do better, but let's have a look. Is the phone still working? Yeah, it lights up, which is good. One of the things we want to check is do the buttons actually work underwater? No. Obviously we've got some physical buttons that we could probably use to do stuff, but there you go. Not sure that it needs to be dry. Oh no, the screen is back. That's cool.
There's no internet connection at the moment.
Thank you. So the camera. You're probably thinking, right guys, what is the deal with this, you know, FLIR? Is that how it's called? FLIR? F-L-I-R. I've never heard of who they are before, but basically they're providing for us the thermal imaging, which is the party trick that this phone has. And you're thinking, why do we need thermal imaging on a phone? Well, think of what applications this phone has. You know, search and rescue. You know, you've all seen those police videos, police camera action where the helicopter's trying to capture the guy in the middle of the darkness and they know exactly where he is. Well, this will allow you to do that. That could be quite interesting and quite handy sometimes. If you're a builder, I know I keep referring back to builder, but actually it's because of the name of the company, you're just automatically related to construction site. But if you're a builder or an electrician and you need to identify where there's some electrical cables or heat pipes or something like that, well, that will come into handy itself. So I'm just going to place here on the top some videos that I shot with this using the thermal imaging. And what actually happens is you've got the thermal imaging infrared camera and your normal 13 megapixel camera, and they overlay each other so that it makes it easier for you to actually identify what you're shooting. Otherwise you'll just be like a bunch of reds and yellows, and there's multiple modes that you can switch it to, so you can identify the hottest point on a black and white image and so on and so forth. And if we move away from the actual party trick, which is thermal imaging, and actually think of the camera as a standalone camera, it's not going to set your heart on fire. However, here's a few shots that I took with a camera. Again, always with smartphones, it's depending on how much lighting you have. Low light performance on this is poor. Most pictures come out looking pretty soft, and the autofocus is a little on the slow side. But given the fact that you didn't buy this to go out there and become a photographer like most other leading smartphones you can do, this is adequate. And the video quality is only 1080p resolution, so no 4K or 2K or anything like that, but it just does what it says on the tin. So what do I think of this? Well, let me just say to you, this is quite interesting. It's not going to make me swap my phone that I have right now, but if I wanted a phone that's robust, strong, I mean, this is, as you saw in the video, it survived the drop test without any protection. Yes, I know other phones do that too, but let me tell you something. I dropped it twice there, but I've now dropped this phone a number of times in a number of different situations from a number of heights. I wouldn't want to say this because who provided the phone might get upset, but I actually threw it. I was in the park the other day and I actually threw it, and it bounced and it worked. It didn't break. That's great. While I'm at it, really quickly, can I just say a quick shout out to Notelco and Stuart in particular for providing this for us again. The guys keep going through with great devices, and their service is second to none. So link below, go and check them out, and if you do end up talking to them, say that you saw my video and he will look after you. Back on the conclusion again, for a phone that has 5 meters waterproof, which is more than what most other phones do. You can go in the water with it, like the sea, because all the others don't. Radiation proof. I mean, it's just crazy what you can do. Dual SIM and a thermal imaging. I mean, you can definitely have some fun with that, right? But depending on what you do as a company, this might be a work tool. Building, categorically. If you're an explorer with SOS button, it's a must. It's a smartphone for those people who are out in the middle of nowhere. If you're search and rescue, you probably should be giving everyone one of these. If you're in the police force, you should be giving people one of these as their smartphones. So it's thumbs up. Not cheap, around the £500 mark, but it's good. And I can't wait to see what comes next from these guys, because actually they're now on my radar as phones to look out for, and they should be on yours too.